If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
I've always been told I gotta be strong. Thick-skinned, stiff upper lip, tough as nails. But to be everything for everybody, it wears on you. Black don't crack, they say. But it can. I can. We all can. Y'all, it's okay to not be okay. Reach out to a friend if you see them going through it. No matter who you are, being vulnerable is what makes us whole. Learn how to help at seizetheawkward.org. And check out badbitcheshavebaddays2.com for even more resources, hotties.
This is your girl, Anna Linzie with the Anna Linzie Show. And I am here in your space again. Thank you for allowing me to come to you on Mondays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time to share my show. I'm here in the studio. My guest is here. Guys, yeah, I say this all the time, but you know, each and every one of my guests they're special. They're special to me, but this one right here has known me the longest. Reason is because it's my sister. Yes, I have my sister Augustine Hardin in the studio. Thank you, Augustine.
Yay.
It's good to see you. We are virtual because you are home with our parents. Yeah.
The family.
Family. And I'm here in Texas, which is all good. But you know, I miss home. You know how much I love my family and miss you guys all the time.
Miss you
So,
too.
but you know, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here in this space here because I wanted to talk to you. We've been talking for a while about you coming on the show. You and I, you have experienced something in your life that I thought that would be meaningful and fitting for this time. And we're going to get into that. But before we do, I want the audience to know a little bit about my baby sister. She is baby, but she's big sister, you guys. She's like a boss in her own right. So, you know, just to get started, you are married to my brother-in-law, Mr. Chico Hardin. How long have you guys been married, Augie?
We've been married 26 years as of March of this year.
That's a long time. You know,
Yes.
you guys look like you could be married for 26 years, but I have watched you guys, and you guys are just like hand in glove. I mean, I know all marriages go through things, but you and Chico have been like hand in glove, just romantic, just a romantic couple doing a lot, right?
Right.
That is so, I really do admire you guys in your relationship.
Yeah.
We also have my niece and nephews.
Yes.
Let's just run it down the correct way because if not, I hear from it later.
You will hear from it.
I'll get about it from it, all three.
Exactly.
Oh, we have Olivia and we have Jamin. Jamin's the baby. Mr. J.
Who's the first one?
A Sparkle.
Oh, okay.
And then we had our kids like simultaneously, but you said you weren't going to hang with me on that fourth one when I.
No, I can't do the fourth one. You did that at 40. I was done.
So I'm not going with you on this one, but we had our kids like, you know, together. I had one year, you had one the next year.
Yep.
I don't know what was up with that.
Trying to give mama some grandbabies, I guess. I don't know.
No, when we were doing, I said, "August, your turn." You said, you on your own with this one at 40. Oh, yeah.
I was like, are you serious? Are you happy? Did you want this to happen?
So sorry. This is supposed to be real professional, like, right?
I told you already. I will get goofy real quick.
It's all good.
I am the goofy sister, people. I am.
You are the more venturous, I think. Venturous sister. Because you know, you do the dancing. You guys always like tease me about my dancing and not really knowing how to dance. Y'all dance good. Yeah.
You keep a beat.
I keep a beat, a 1-2 beat.
Yeah, the 1-2 beat. Yeah, 1-2 beat. Maybe a dip. Maybe a dip.
Maybe a little dip. That's a little what, you know.
But never have I seen you twerk.
And I'm not going to. mainly because I don't know how. I don't know. But it's back on track because we're just having way too much fun already.
Okay, okay.
My little big sister is an executive administrator. She graduated from Columbia College with her bachelor's degree. I'm so proud of you. You did that thing. Um, you also, let's just say, you live in Columbia, Missouri, my hometown. So, what's been going on lately, Augustine?
Well, lately I'm just working. I'm going not really back to school. I'm finishing up my last of my state exam for my insurance license, and getting back to my health, getting back to the regular me.
Yes, yes. We're going to talk about that. And that, we're going to talk about that because that's just you. If anybody would go through what you have been through in the last year and a half, am I correct in saying year and a half?
Yeah, about a year and a half, 2 years.
Good year and a half, 2 years. If you want to go through if you would want to go through the way you did, I'm so proud of you and proud of how God brought you through what you have experienced. Now, what's the name of the insurance company or the new venture that you're?
My newest venture is it's a insurance company called 4Gen. It's a national insurance company. Because of my I do have a business, and the business is called Virtual Assistant. And
Yes.
I do various things as far as virtually for people, because I'm an administrator, and the skills that I've been an administrator and doing secretarial and business work for over really about 25 years.
Mhm.
So I wanted to have my own business that because and that was the first out of COVID. Most people couldn't go to their business. They couldn't do most things, so everything ended up being really pretty much virtually. So
Right.
I was like, okay, and the people that had to travel and had to do things they had to do and continue to run their business, then I was able to step in and help those people continue to run their business virtually, and so they wouldn't have to think about it. What a virtual assistant does is help the more of what a person or a secretary would do in office. But I do it. I'm the one that's in office, and that employer or that owner does not have to necessarily be in office. They can kind of go and run their day-to-day business. I would be checking their emails, sending out their correspondences, set up their schedules. I can do ordering for them. One client I do all their taxes. Well, I don't do the taxes. I prepare and have it ready and collated for their accountant or their bookkeeper to do.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah. Uh,
I think you did a lot with that, but I need you. I'm sorry you did. I mean, that's, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
especially for a small business or
yeah.
business on any level that's wearing all those hats. Keep going. I'm so sorry. I just,
Well,
that much.
that one I found to be the most not really productive, but most people don't really think about it when they're business owner. They either if you really ain't gonna do it, you're gonna have like a box, and you're gonna have all your papers in a box, and you said I'm gonna get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have your files and you have them stacked up and they're not together, and you can't really find anything, and you want a little bit more organized.
Right.
I've been blessed. I say I have the anointing for organization
Yes.
and doing things like that. So I can go into any office and kind of put that office back together and correlate it and put things together.
Oh,
Or
wow.
I could take all your receipts and electronically file them and link them up and put them up in a file thing, and you can just take it, and I can email it to your bookkeeper. So it's different little things like that that people say, I do not have time to do this, or I don't really want to worry about this. So that's what I like about the virtual assistant. And people call the other one I'm going to be doing. I'll be working with the state of Missouri for a lady that she does business for. But she has her own business, and so what I would do, I would come in and I would put in those and be contracted through her to help her do different things on her business virtually as well as she helps other people. She is like, okay, I can't really do this. I need these things done, and then I'll be able to fill in those gaps. So I might not do the whole business that they do, but I might say, okay, let me handle your emails. Let me handle your schedule. Let me do your flights, and stuff like that. So most times you don't really have to worry about it and set up their whole itinerary for traveling. So they'll know, okay, I'm going here. I get the flight, hotel, get the car and all that stuff, and you do that virtually.
Awesome. And then it's called, what's the name of it?
Virtual, virtuous, virtuous. virtual assistant.
Virtuous virtual assistant. How can just, I know that I normally, ask for references or, contacts at towards the end, but tell us, how can someone get a hold of you if they are in need of that type of service?
Yeah, they can email me. The email is vva at virtuous virtuous at gmail.com. I have my own website as well at vba at virtuous .org. And then I have my own personal business number, which is 816-514-3492. And they can reach me on there any time. I do 8 to 5, but some of my clients is not 8 to 5, so that kind of helps some of the clients that do it. That just says, okay, you don't do this from this time and this time. No. As far as virtual assistant, they have to kind of be ready at all times. It is like a different upcharge if you're kind of doing a little bit more than just that business. If you want me to kind of do everything and do that virtually, then I do have different packages that I have, that I have on my website, and you can see that on my website at virtual assistant.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I wanted to get that in there. Yes, again, we'll repeat that towards the end, but that's exciting, especially
Yes.
as listen to it as a business person myself. That's exciting, and
Yeah.
I know anything that you do, you're doing it to the highest standard possible. You always bring excellence. In what you do, especially as a grown woman,
Yeah. And that's what I loved about the new venture I'm taking for Jen. It came out of me trying to really do things virtually from where I live at, because it's more of a rural area. And so a lot of times you wanted people to try to do work from home. Well, I really didn't want to do work from home because I have my own business, and then I'm also the administrator that I've been at as far as my other job at Faith Walk Ministry for over 25 years. So that's my heart. But I can, and then I'll be able to do things as far as my business, that I'll be able to help other people. And that's why that one came in, that Gen 4 came in, because I want to be able to be virtual, and those type of jobs you can do virtual, and you don't really have to go in office. And a lot that does also help the business owner, because they're not paying for somebody to be in the office. They're not paying for overhead. You ain't paying for lights or anything like that. And I can work for just about anywhere. So that's what I love about the new one that I'm doing, and I'll be able to work with insurance. I wasn't trying to do really insurance and do the test and all that. It was real hard. But after doing it, it's just something of another avenue of funding stream, another avenue for income. And also one thing COVID taught me is that some things that you do and you can't go in and go to that job and you're not making money, you're dependent on the government. That was not really comfortable at that time. So when I did everything virtual, I was like, okay, this is something that can be done, whether I'm in the office or not.
Yeah, and it's right there again with your expertise. So I can see that. So the insurance company, your life insurance, does it go through the whole scope?
It goes through the whole scope. I did my first state test that I passed, and it was for medical and like Medicare and Medicaid and doing things like that. And so yeah, that was more of that and different things for the state of Missouri that you have to have. This one is property and casualty and commercial insurance, that I'll be able to get insurance and get for people. All the way from auto to medical to Medicaid to the commercial, for the commercial buildings and homeowners, everything. Yep, it kind of does all that.
Awesome. Yeah, check out my sister. Check out my girl. Yes, she's gonna teach right. You talk about on top of the table and honest with it, you're gonna be treated right. So
Yep.
yay, I'm glad. I'm glad. Well, you know what? I want to go ahead and talk about you and a little bit more, and ask you a few questions here. What was your most memorable growing up memory?
With you or just in general?
Just in general.
My most memorable growing up, oh, I got several. You want one? Just one?
We're gonna do what?
You do one. But my most memorable probably growing up is Lincoln Drive.
Lincoln Drive.
Just growing up in the projects was probably just probably just the most memorable thing of my life. It was like a major turning point after we came from California. The age,
Mhm.
my mom and dad separating, everything. It was like it was a real weird time, but it was a real fun time, and yeah, and
I agree.
community. Yeah.
I agree. It was weird, but it was fun too.
It was fun. I mean, most people think that transition, that transition of and your parents not being together and everything that we went through when we was little, it probably could have really hurt us. But I found Lincoln Drive the most amusing street.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Well,
projects.
okay, I agree. Lincoln Drive, and those who know Lincoln Drive, they're probably like, yeah.
Yeah, the projects, Columbia.
I remember it. Yeah, but we made it. Mom, like you said, mom being a single parent, uh, she did what she had to do, and I think she did well.
I think she did well too. Sometimes she don't think so, but I think she did very well. Yeah, for us. We were a handful.
I agree. Looking back, I agree. I agree. I agree. You know what I forgot to do? Normally I do what I call a word game. Have you seen
Okay.
my word games on my show?
Uh-uh.
You ever
Uh-uh.
seen it? Okay, now I'm gonna
Uh-uh.
go back then. Okay, I'm gonna go
Okay.
back. Yeah.
All
This
right.
is a word game. I'm gonna give you one word and you tell me what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say this word. Just the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay, Jesus.
Love,
Chico.
friends,
Chico.
nature,
Cornfields in Paris, Missouri.
really. Relationships.
What, one word?
That has to be one word. Just
Relationships.
what's first thing come to mind when you hear the word
Fickle.
relationship?
Fickle.
Circles,
Fickle.
color.
Green.
Why green?
It's color money. God blanket the earth with it. The emerald is it. It's my birthstone. And August. I was born in August, and it's my color. And yep, money.
Very
Money's green.
lettuce.
Lettuce.
Yes.
Vegan.
Vegan.
Hmm.
Soccer.
Exhausting.
I knew he was gonna say. Okay. Mountains.
Mountains. Montana.
Montana. Okay, why Montana?
Yellowstone. Yeah.
Just what came to mind.
Yeah, yeah. Kevin Costner, Montana, Yellowstone. That was my show.
Okay, that was the end of the that was the end of the name game.
Good.
What do you think? It's always a nice icebreaker, but I kind of like when a couple steps ahead of my little show that I do here. I think it's fun though. I think it's fun just hearing, the spontaneous answers of what people think about, a certain.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as we had said before, you have gone through some um a experience in life for the last year and a half. Uh, you had cancer, right? And this is the reason
Yeah.
why, one of the reason why we're here on the show, because I feel like your story and your experience will help other people, um, and also show them you and God's grace and how He graced you through that process. Again, if anyone, or if I ever had to, I would want to be able to go through the way you did. Can you tell us what you had experienced? How did that look? How did that show up? You went to the doctor? How did that happen for you?
Yeah, like every other year I was the type where I would do it, but just generally mammograms and kind of check the breast. And here in Paris, Missouri, they have with the bus. So I would always go with the bus. For one, it's free. Yeah, and then you can do all the little check off for the women's health thing that I was up under for the state of Missouri. And so I would do it just to do that. It did run in our family, but it was nothing like I was all worried about, or, I got to go get my breast check, or do I have cancer? It was never that, because I tell people all the time, the crazy thing that I went through the whole time, and I told you when we was in the hospital, is that nothing has ever happened to me. I've been blessed. I barely get a cold. I've never had the flu, ever. I didn't get COVID. If I get the sniffles, I have an allergy code, and I take Alka-Seltzer Plus, and I'm done the next day. I've been at my job for 25 years, and I've missed all of 2 days in the whole 25 years for sickness, saying I can't come in. And that's, and it was just like, so I'm overall a healthy person. I exercise. I'm a pescatarian, which is that I'm vegan, but I eat seafood. So I had started that even 7 years, even before this. I don't drink soda. I don't smoke or anything like that. So it was like it was just the reason. I mean, I've always been super healthy. I mean, people at my job, they'd be like, "You do not get sick. You don't get tired or whatever." And I say, I take it to the genes or God or whatever. And so when I went to that one, let me back up probably like 3 or 4 years before. And I went through it, and they said, we see something on there. And I was like, okay. And so I went to go get the check, and they did a test, and they was like, oh, it was nothing. And I ended up getting like a $200-300 bill for you to tell me that it was nothing. And I was like, yeah, I ain't doing that no more. So it's all my perception trying to pay this bill after you tell me that there's nothing there. And so the next time I went, and it was a couple of years, that's come back to the 2 years that I did go, and she was like, you gonna do your mammogram? They think they see, they come and do your mammogram. The lady here, we're kind of on a first name basis. I was like, no, because you had me do that. They sent me a bill for $200. She said, well, remember I asked you if you would sign this paper. I signed you up for this paper called Missouri Women's Health, and that means you get everything at a discount price, and you get the exams free. And she said, even if they find something, it'll be free. And I was like, okay, Rebecca, I'll come in. So I went in, and then took it, no big deal. The next week, the lady from Ellis called, and so when I seen Ellis, I got a little bit. I was like, and so she was like, well, they see something, because before they were just seeing something in the mail. And I was like, she said, well, they see a mass. And I was like, okay, well, still thinking, oh, no big deal. But she said, we want you to come down, and we need you to come down in 2 days. And I was like, oh, I said, ma'am, you sound real serious. She said, yes, ma'am, we see something, and we need you to come immediately. And I was like today immediately, like I'm gonna die tomorrow immediately. And she was like, no, but we need you to come immediately. So I set it up for the next couple of days, and I kind of, snuck and did the, text to the family. Because first of all, I'm a very private person. Second of all, I don't like people, and it's probably like maybe a sort of flaw, but not a flaw to me, is that I don't want you looking at me like, oh, well, poor you, or woe is you. I feel like you just deal with it and go on. If I die, I'm going to glory. So I wasn't really too much. That's kind of how my mindset is. In general, overall, I'm not going to sit up there and just be wearing up on something. I'll call Anna for that. But anyway, I go down there, and they do the test, and they called the very next day, and said, we need you to come back. There is a mass. It's on your right breast, almost the size of I think they said like an acorn or a plum. So it was that big. Mind you, I didn't feel anything there, but what I did feel, which I like to, any woman that's listening to, or anybody listening to your podcast, is that because I was so healthy, and because I had lost over 60 pounds, 60 to 80 pounds, my body was different. So my breast felt different. And so my breasts, as a woman, I can say this as a woman, when they saggy, they sag and you hit different parts or whatever, and then they're not the same structures when you had kids. Of course, they're not big, they're not perfect, they're a little saggy. So the lump, the part that I was feeling in my breast that I felt like was just from me losing weight and it wasn't the same shape was actually the tumor that I had there. Because my breast has never been, I've always wanted to, get breast augmentation and all that other stuff. But what I was feeling was that. And so that's kind of how I went down there and did my first thing. And I had most of the main people on the phone and on Skype, and Anna on Skype, and I did tell them they found something and they want me to come and do treatment. Well, when I went in there, they was like, we need to start next week, and we need to start chemo, and we need to do radiation, and you're gonna have to have surgery. And that was different. That really took me back, is that it was like I found out we did mom's surprise birthday on April the 2nd. The very 2 weeks later, that's when I got the news that I had right breast cancer, invasive, stage 3, stage 3, yes, and lymph nodes in my right side lymph nodes as well. With lymph nodes, if no one doesn't know, with lymph nodes, if you don't take care of it, it goes from your arm and it spreads through, and that's how people get cancer, to go through the rest of their body instead of secure, isolating it to that one breast. And so, yeah, that was it.
What was that news like? I mean, I can imagine. I mean, I know you called me. I was there. Um, what were you thinking?
Well, when I first got it, I was at work and I was up in our supply room, and they called, and I was walking up the steps and minding my own daily business, and they called and they gave me that. And when they said, you do have breast cancer, it's right, it's invasive stage 3. And I said 3, because I'm thinking, you're 1, 2, 3, and 4 is a little, and when they said that, I literally sat on, I never told nobody this, I sat on them steps and I cried. I cried. I was crying. I was mad. I didn't want to do it. I could not believe it. And it was just, I just sat there and cried, because I knew that my life was really going to change, and it was not going to be the same after that.
Yeah.
And then I cried because I'm sick. I'm really sick. I don't feel sick. I don't look sick, but I got something in me that's trying to kill me. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think it would be really scary at that point, even though I know you have strong faith and so on, but it's like your life is right before your very eyes.
Well, at that time, I didn't know. I mean, they just saying, I didn't know if it was something that I was gonna die. And I mean, you hear it all the time. Some people do it and they come through, and then some people, they're gone in like 2 to 3 months, or they, in remission and all that. I didn't know what that was gonna look like at the time. I didn't know if I was gonna be here within that next year, or how aggressive. When they said 3, I just figured it was real aggressive. So. I mean, what did that entail until I went to that first meeting that they send you, and they want you to have want you to have your family, and they work out a cancer plan for you at the Ellis Fitzgerald Cancer Institute. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what made you get up from this, get up and fight back? When did you get up? Was it immediately or after, what was the next step? What was the next moment? How did that?
When the get up was when I went there for the initial meeting, and she said it's treatable. When I heard that word, yeah, it wasn't. But before I went there, I had only told my pastor, or Harold Long, Paris, Missouri, love my goddad. I had only told him, and I only wanted it. I didn't want no one else, only the main secretaries in the office to know. I wasn't doing no church. I didn't want to go before the church and do no prayer, no laying on hands or anything like that, because I had a lot more going on than just cancer. So having cancer was really like, really, I got too much going on now that for me to even be dealing with cancer. And he had prayed for me. He called me up and he didn't even say what it was or anything. He said, God's going to get the glory out of this. He said, and he just said, this sickness is not unto death. God will get the glory out of it. It will be for the glory of God. And once I got that word that it was not unto death, that was before I even went to the doctor. And when I went to the doctor, pretty much that was that Sunday. When I went to the doctor that Tuesday, she said, "Oh no, you're not going to die, but you're going to have to do this plan, and you have to do this plan exactly how we laid out." And we lay out plans specifically and curtailed to each individual person, and you have to go through this, which was 16 rounds of chemo, 16 rounds of the I forgot what it's called now, but the treatment that keeps it away, 30 rounds of radiation, breast augmentation, where I can either chose to get a mastectomy, cutting them all off, or just taking the tumor out of the right breast and getting reconstructive, pretty much AKA free breast lift, which was probably one of the best things of going through this. Uh, I told her, and Anna said, "You so silly," because audience, sister to Anna. She's like, "Don't say it out here." Anna has always had the best body, the big sister and the big, beautiful boobs growing up. I did not. I was not born. I was skinny. I didn't have nothing, and I didn't have no boobs. So I got boobs now.
Really excited about that part. Really excited about that part.
The whole time everybody's like really all good. Yeah, well, I was really excited about that part. But then going through that whole process, I mean, it hurt and it didn't hurt. I mean, I think that's what everybody in the family is like, "Are you okay?" And then Anna texting me, probably two or three times a day, or at least every day, "How you doing? You okay? Or you good or whatever, And my family doing that was fine, but that is the reason why I did not even share it. And some people, they feel like they need to do it and share it on Facebook and share it with people and all that. My main reason is because everybody didn't believe how I believe. I knew I was going to be all right, and I did not want nobody to treat me different. Because if I looked different, and I made sure that I didn't look different. I made sure I kept my face on. I made sure my hair. I made sure I was moving real slow, but I kept the same entire routine. I kept 2 jobs. I kept working, and that's some of the things that they tell you to do, is that you really need to exercise and try to do your normal life as much as possible. Because with that, what I learned with that doing chemo, especially by the time halfway through, is that you can muster up all the energy you think you can, and you still will not have no energy. It's as if the doctor, he said, when you're in it, you're going to liken it unto your last lap of running around a track. And then you're at the stretch and you're trying to get there. Yeah, when he said that, when it hit me, I was like, that's true. Because my office is probably 30, it's probably like 30 feet from my employer's office. And to walk through the sanctuary to get to his office was like as if I was trying to, I can I can feel in my mind, I can get there and I can go quicker, but my lungs and my body, it would not, you couldn't, there's no way. It was very, very exhausting. And that's another thing that I did not really, that made me more depressed, I could say, not really bad depressed, but more sad, is that I'm the hyper, Anna will tell you, I'm the hyper sibling. I was always hyper, always jumping, always doing something, drill team, track. So I've always been hyper. I've always had a job where I worked for 10 hours a day, or 12 hours a day, so always going, I always want to do something or whatever. And for that full probably 6 months to a year, it was go to work, do the best I can, and get in bed. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's part was the toughest part, especially with knowing you and just having to slow down and mentally not slowing down. You challenge your body saying, "Hey, slow down," or not going the way you normally go, and mentally. You know what? We're gonna take a small break here, and we're gonna get right back into your experience here and the process, because there's more. So again, this is the Anna Linzie Show. I have my baby sister, Augustine Hardin, here telling us about her journey and victory and grace through battling cancer.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
We are back. This is the Anna Linzie Show, and I am here back talking with my sister who is younger than I am. However, she is like a big little sister, even though, she says I'm the big sister. So, Courtney, like that one. I'm coming back in, Courtney. Hey, this is the Anna Linzie Show, and we are back. I am talking to my little sister, Augustine Hardin. We have been talking about her experience with cancer. We are in the October, the time that everyone is, or the medical field especially, bring awareness, and families and friends bring awareness to the importance of getting checked for cancer, and having your screenings, making sure you're getting your screenings. So my sister is sharing with us her experience that she's had with cancer and the importance of screening. So I thought it would be important for and great for her to come in to share with you. Augustine, we're back.
Hello.
Yes, thank you for coming in and sharing something that's really sensitive. It's not easy sharing something that's so intimate and an experience that can weigh real heavy in life, and has weighed heavy in life for everyone, your family, your friends, people not really knowing always how to respond and how to help and how to be there for you. So that was one of my main reasons for doing this, because I want us to hear the triumphant stories and the victory stories, the overcoming stories. However, I want people who have had those experiences share what others can do to help them through, and also share, how we can help you and you help others with it. That was a lot, wasn't it?
No, that's good. That's good.
Sounds good. It's supposed to be twofold there.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I want to ask you to that very question. How can others help someone in your situation? I know you're a private person. Everyone goes through sensitive moments in their life different ways. You wanted to keep it to yourself, wrap your head around it, get yourself around all of this before you made public, and then you decided to share it. Others, right away, they announce and they gain their strength, and they gain their that's the way they choose to handle something so sensitive in their life. What would you tell now? What would you tell others who are in your situation? What would you want to hear from them?
The main thing is finding that those core people, them people that before you even got cancer is there for you. Them people that love you. You can't have fake people. You can't have negative people. It is so true that I even seen when I would go to treatment, the difference between somebody that was, it's not like joking around. I didn't joke around just to joke around, like trying to mask anything. It was real. But I'm a jokester anyway. I'm not gonna be sad and walk around all sad and depressed. Some people that naturally that is their personality, I would dare say. Maybe their personality is like negative, or their personality is sad, or no one's there for them. What I call the your spirit. People that normally like that. You can do all you want, and you can be there for them, and they don't have a rough time. It is statistically shown. It is scientifically shown that people that go into this with a positive mindset, with a determination, with this is not gonna take me out, with the do whatever you got to do. Once they laid out that plan, I was in the place, and I was like, okay, when do we start? What do I got? What do I got to do? What's the next step? And then when they lay out that plan and they tell you we need to hit these certain points at specific times, and that's what I learned about cancer, that each person, whether it's prostate, breast, lung, or whatever treatment they set up with you, these people have been doing this for over 20 years. They had specializes in that field, and they specialize in cancer and cancer treatment. And because cancer is so big, it's like now I'm coming like a cold to me. Once I realized that, everybody's like, and then next thing you know, this person got cancer, that person got cancer. So me keeping it, more to myself is because I needed positive people around me. And I needed people that said, we know, Augustine, that, Augustine, you're tough. Augustine, you can do anything. You've been able to do anything, but we're here for you. I mean, that we're going to be here for you no matter what do you need? And that's what I love, love, love about my family. They was like, what do you need? Or we'll go to you. We'll go to you to the chemo treatments. My sister flew down, from Texas just to go to a chemo treatment for me, and she know I'll forever be grateful that she even flew down. I didn't want her to flow. She wouldn't come fly for every appointment, y'all. I wasn't gonna let her do that. But to fly down to be with me, because me and her have always been close. We're like I said, we're only 15 months apart, so we've always been real close. So I knew who I was going to call first. I knew who I was going to tell. I knew who I wasn't going to tell. So there were certain people that they was like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, yeah, I just kept to myself. No, I wasn't going to tell you because you're negative. I was going to tell you because you really don't love me. I ain't going to tell you, sister, because you talk about me, and I know you talk about me. You think, I know you don't like me. So I consciously in my mind, this is for me. And if I can help anybody, I consciously in my mind did not have people that was not going to support me, that was not going to believe that God healed me, and in the healing, especially for your church people. Let's take this one to the church, Anna. For you church people, yes, I got my hands laid on me. I got prayed for, but nowhere in there was it like going to supernaturally, vanish. It could, and I ain't gonna say it hasn't happened, but sometimes if you went in there and the man of God don't lay hands on you, and prophetically that they spoke to you, and that thing coughed up out of your body, and you're gonna vomit it in the toilet or whatever. If you're not gonna really believe that, or that did not really happen to you, because it can. I mean, God can do anything because it can. Then you need to go through the process of going through those treatments, and not be like, I'm healed in Jesus' name, and I'm not gonna take chemo, or I'm not gonna take these pills. That was my other mindset, because I can't stand when people, whether it's chemo or diabetes or anything, if you get diagnosed as something, I feel like you should either take the medicine. You can believe God, but I believe God. I did double. I believe God, and I took the medicine. So yeah. I just, me as a godly woman, and some people just be like, well, God's going to heal me. Well, God, yeah, he gave Papa Giorgio, and he said, Papa Giorgio, help Augustine. That was the healing too.
That's how it happened. That's how it happened. Just encouraging people to do, especially, somebody may be listening and struggling with that very thought, and just letting them know that it's okay, and you can get through it.
Right. Yeah,
this
and
little
encouraging people as far as that, like you said, my experience and what I had in my mind through the whole thing. I mean, like now I'm like right back to normal. To I say back to normal. I take one little bitty pill and I gotta take that for 5 years. So and my energy's back, I'm not having no side effects or anything like that. So I going through that process it was worrisome. It was terrible. I could not eat, you can't eat and things like that. It's terrible. But your mindset is, what is the next step? Once you go to the next step, or okay, I don't want to do this. I will tell you all the time, I don't want to do this. I'm pissed off and I'm mad that I got it. And why did it touch me? And because I think I'm that cute and I think I'm that good, that it should not happen to me. Well, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
What did you learn most? But before we do that, we're going to take another short break here.
Sure.
Tune in. We'll be right back.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
gonna let you go.
Back in, okay. He's going to be like, girl, how many breaks you going to take here? Okay. We are back, and I am so glad to be back again. We just had a short break there, but again, I'm here with my sister, Augustine Hardin, and we have been talking about her journey through cancer. And although she is on the other side of it, we are talking about it now. Let's go back to it, Augustine. You said that you're now down to one pill a day that you have to take for 5 years. And you've restored, your health is restored, your energy is restored. What was, looking back, what did you think? What did you think you learned? I'm sure you had a lot of lessons through it, a lot of things that you could say about it. But have you been able to sit back and meditate and say, this is one thing I learned through this? What was it?
Not to be prideful. That's the biggest thing, not to be prideful, and that and just the God and the Holy Spirit was just like there each time. I mean, each of my lowest, I had to just resort back to. I had to resort back to God. I had something on Facebook after I did it about the two times that I really was really scared, because me, I ain't really scared of too much, but going and getting the port put in. I mean, I've never stayed in the hospital. I didn't even have to stay there, but just I've never had surgery or anything like that. Me, I pop out my kids like no big old deal. And even labor, even have my kids was like no big deal to me. But to go and to have a device put in me, it was just like that just kind of like, it was more fear. But then I had to resort back to God, and then the word of God. And my man of God, one time, he just came out of nowhere in the sanctuary and doing a message and said, every time you go into every time you go into your doctor's appointment, you go into your surgery, you have a special angel that goes in there with you to every appointment. He said, I see that angel that's with you in every appointment. And so now I'm going to get a little teary-eyed. Yeah. So once I did that and I went in there, it was as if I went in there and the people were there, and the lady that was there, because I had, I went in my face and tried to go with makeup and everything, and I was starting to cry. And she dapped me. She said, "You too pretty to cry. You're going to mess up your makeup, and he's with you." And I almost lost it with the woman, but I'm sitting here with this whole thing over me in surgery. I cannot see nobody. They got me covered with the sterilization and all that. And I just didn't want to be there, and I was just really scared. And so I had to really kind of dig deep. It made me really dig deep. You pray and you ask God not the healing, but you're wanting His presence there in there with you, because no one's there. Your family's not there. Chico wasn't there. No one was there. Just me in there with foreign weird people. That's that's going in there. That's gonna be. I mean, they can do anything. Can I die while I'm in here? While this thing getting in here? Am I allergic? And so all them things is going through your mind. Will I be allergic to this? Will they be able to cut me right? You're up here. You're up here with this port. This thing goes from here, and it goes all the way. Here's the cord, and it goes all the way up into there and down in there and by your heart. So I'm thinking, so you're sitting there, oh Lord, forgive me, anything I've done was not of you, so receive me in the glory. So every time I'm going there doing the sinner's prayer, I'm repenting, I'm doing everything. So I was like, okay, if I die, then so because you're so close to death every time you go in there. I mean, that's what you got to also realize. Once I went in there, I was like, these people can do anything, and I can die right up in here. They check you for echoes and for your heart like every 2 months, because it does so much on your heart. You can have a heart attack, you can get blood clots. So many things that was negative that I had to keep on casting down and keep on keeping them negative thoughts away, was probably one of the biggest things. I mean, even though once I got done, I went to work in there and no one knew the wiser. Only like 2 people at my job knew, but no one there, no one in my church, and no one in my community even here knew that I had it. I had to keep on, going there and going through, and I loved it, because in the end, they was like, you couldn't even tell. We didn't even know.
Well, even us, I mean, we talked about it. You went through in such a way, and I knew you're a soldier, but just watching as a family member, someone watching your loved one go through that, I became so proud of you, because I couldn't do anything about it. As close as we are, I would give you, my kidney if you needed it. I couldn't do anything about it, but just to see how strong you how you came through, how you fought through it. I think that's what I'm trying to say. You fought through it, and you fought through it a lot of grace. I know you're a fighter, and we all know that about you. But again, I didn't see you go down physically. I know you did that on purpose.
No.
You could tell that you had it.
They were amazed. The doctor was amazed. The doctor was sitting just stare at me, and I was like, well, what's wrong? And he said, you're just gorgeous. You're just gorgeous. He said, it's not affecting you. You just look amazing. And he kept on saying it to where I will always have one of my girls on the phone, and one of them said, he trying to date you or something, mama, or something. I said, I couldn't figure out if he was coming on to me or if he was amazed or what. I said, I know. I said, that was kind of weird, but each time he would be, and every doctor, and even they would say, then what you call your nurse advocate, to kind of help you with different things, or help you if you need financial things and all that. And they're gonna tell you the financial, that was even more of a miracle, because I didn't realize that me fussing at Rebecca for the thing up in Paris that I told you that I didn't want to sign, I didn't want to go and do, and her making me sign that paper, I did not have to pay a dime.
Okay.
And and then the breast cancer different. I would tell people that's on here that may be doing, or if you go through it, those different places that help you or whatever. That's another part of what I was saying. Anna was asking, one thing that y'all learned, don't be prideful, is asking for money, or asking for assistance, because I wasn't able to work to my fullest. I had a different job that I was a manager at Dollar General, and I was only able to do 1 or 2 days. I wasn't able to work or whatever, and so it affected our finances here at home. And so they would pay your rent, pay your mortgage, pay your car payment. They paid for my gas to go down there and stuff like that. And then the place here in Paris, I didn't tell no one in Paris. So when they did find out, they blessed me with some money that I needed, to even pay my utilities and stuff like that. But they was like, why didn't you tell us? A lot of people mad is that why didn't you tell us? It wasn't that, being mean or anything like that. I was just very selective. And my biggest thing is, in some people, I did not want anybody to look at me or treat me different. That was my thing. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, to be treated like it's a plague and I'm labeled. And like, because Anna was like, "Are you gonna? I'll get you a shirt and we'll do this and fight and all that." And I said, "Anna, I don't want nobody to know, because I don't want to be labeled Augustine, the cancer patient, or or see me and they be like, oh, So when people did find out, that's exactly what they did. If I was at work, they'd be like, "How you doing? You okay?
Yeah.
Anything you need?" No, I need people to fight with me, warriors with me. You got this, and you all right. My family, yeah, they was a little bit, texting or whatever. And I was like, I'm fine. So I started doing the thing with Anna and text her in the morning. I'm okay, or I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm taking head time today. Yeah, I'm okay. But
But
then it was fun. Mhm.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was like, but it was a couple of days that you text me or call me like, I'm tired. I'm tired. Moving slow like a turtle or something like that. So I
Yeah,
feel like I was honest through the whole thing. That was, I feel like I was real honest with it.
I think something like that will make you an honest person and bring out some, help make you a better person, more
Oh yeah.
aware, more sensitive. And I think that's why it's so important to, when you see the fundraisers, the events like the K walks, the
Mm-hmm.
uh, those different types of again fundraisers.
Yeah.
It's important, you see it all the time, and sometimes as society we can get desensitized to it and just like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But on the other side, if you were the person on the other side of that, you can really see
Yeah.
how it benefit a person or a family,
Yes.
because once you're down with the illness or a situation, then you know life still goes on. You
Yeah.
still have bills, you still have, children, you still have responsibilities. So I just encourage people to keep giving, keep
Yeah, definitely keep giving. I mean, the things that they do, and the donations that they have, you see it all around the hospital. You see the donations that they give, whether it's for for hair, for your wigs, or things for your scarf, things that they give you. They give you wonderful, like, the different tote bags that you can keep all your stuff in, and then I got a girlfriend here in Paris now, and she found out, like, after me, that she had double, I mean, breast. And so she didn't have the money. She didn't sign the paper. Her family was probably not really well off, but she worked enough and took care of herself, but she didn't have to, go to us, go there. Or she wasn't going to the health department, just put it that way. I just had a connection with the health department because I don't really go to it. I don't even have a physician. I don't even have a doctor that I can say all my life, this is Doctor Who. Some people have their doctors from their growing up. We never had in our family. We've always went to the health department or whatever things that they give you to get your pills or whatever. So I only use the health department really for just contraceptive. I didn't really use it for, even for checkup or because nothing was wrong with me. And this girl that does have it now, she literally had to do a GoFundMe. They're going to have a fundraiser that I'll probably be going to next week to support her. And just let her know that I'm with her, and I inbox her people that I know, and I inbox her, just encouraging her and different things like that. And she, because she doesn't even have the funds to pay for it, and she has to get surgery, and she has to get a double mastectomy and all that, and be off work. So a lot of people wasn't blessed like I was to be able to have that. So I really, and then like I said, the community here, the Monroe County Cancer Society, they here, the ones that gave me the funds. Like I said, go back to that pride, and then when they found out, she's like, "Is there anything that you need?" And I really needed to pay my mortgage, but it didn't really, to me, it had something to do with cancer, and it didn't, So I was like, I don't want to use, and I didn't want to abuse somebody that's giving money just to get money, or here you got cancer, you give me money or whatever. I didn't really want to abuse it like that. I wanted to make sure that it was something that I really, really need. And when I was going down there every day for radiation, oh, they can my advocate, they'll help you with gas. Oh, girl, give me the check, because going down there every day, that was a lot of gas to kind of go back and forth. So when they did that, it helped. It helped really, it helped significantly. And they do it here. They are really good about it here in my community. And each community has it. Every community has it. They have different resources. You can www.cancer.org, and they have all kind of foundations that they assist you for, as far as giving you finances, or as most of them, they're not going to give you money, or they'll just pay a bill. Well, that helps out when you don't have to worry about that utility bill or that car payment. So
Yeah, especially when you're on the other side, you don't know what the experience will be unless you have experience it. And that's why I'm glad you're here. That's why I wanted you on the show. One of the reasons why,
right.
like you said, there's different ways to help. With the hair, you see it, beauticians and salons, and uh, helping with donating the wigs and
Hmm.
the clothes, like you said, the mortgage, the food. I am I I'm a nurse by trade, and know how important it is to give blood and how effective and how it saves lives. But I am now a monthly donor, or as soon as they text me and say it's your time, I'm there. Reason being is because I knew it, but then when you had experienced this, it's my way of giving back. And I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to becoming more involved in putting on blood donation events, and just getting more involved with that, because you guys use a lot of blood, and some people need the transfusions
Hmm.
through the
Hmm.
process.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
that's my way of giving back personally. But again, I'm looking forward to getting more involved with that.
Yep.
So we could be here for one another. Can get on
Yep.
the other side of it. Why did you choose to tell your story now? Because we've heard, you've said why you didn't. Why are you here today? Why did you choose to get on the show with me?
Cause first of all, it's your show. I probably wouldn't have did it for for nobody else. Your show, it did, like I said, it did change me. As far as just having cancer, but it changed me. It more changed me, just like understanding going through that whole process and then getting done. I think the victory at the end, and the overcoming at the end, just to let everybody know that there is an end to it. If they tell you that you can go through that, and this is the plan you have to do, and then they give you that final date, you ring that bell, and you ring that cancer bell, and they give you, and they tell you that you don't have to come back for another 6 months to a year. It is victory, and I'm all about, as a woman of God, I'm all about showing the victory and the overcoming, and what God did. Through you're gonna go through and going through the midst, and during the midst of it, it wasn't good or whatever. But even when I was going through it, I guess I'm weird like that. Really didn't bother me that bad. I mean, it did. I think I was more, like I said, I keep on saying, I was more angry at the fact that it even entered my body.
Yeah.
And anybody else, you're just like, how, if I looked at, and it takes you out of your whole misconception of cancer. Like, anybody smoke cigarettes? I deliberately didn't smoke cigarettes, because I was like, they cause cancer. Well, I didn't smoke no cigarettes. Different things that you eat, that they may cause cancer. I call myself being a vegan. So far as the cancer thing, it blew up all my misconceptions of a person with cancer. So when I got it, I was like, oh, okay, it still could happen to me. How it got there, how it was, they still can't even really pin that down to say that you got it because of this. And maybe and part of it was like, God was like, I'm gonna show you something. You ain't all that in a bag of chips. You need me. And another thing, and main thing I tell people also, is that now I know him as a healer.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
So
right.
before, he's a provider, he's been everything and everything. I can see him healing everybody else, but it's way, way different when God heals you. It is a totally different when you know that he was with you through that whole thing, and it was nobody else. I mean, everybody was there for support, but you know deep down that if you didn't have your faith, and I didn't have God, then I probably wouldn't. I'd rather see things, not that seeing things going through that as negative, or what I was going through, or woe is me, was more draining. it is what it is. And so what I rather see it as, I done made it through. It's the victory, and that, God is a healer. So that was the main thing.
What would you like to do now? Have you decided now to get more involved with others who are experiencing?
I like doing it more personally. I
Mhm.
don't. I mean, I just go. I went to St. Louis for the cancer walk before with a girlfriend of mine, and all that, and I like like the giving part of cancer or whatever. But I found that most people that I have seen on Facebook or something like that, because you don't know till you know, when you inbox somebody and they know that you went through it, it just hits a little bit different, you know. So the girl that I went through, I sent her a video. I sent her a song that took me through, and so I would listen to that song sometime when I was up in treatment, and I would listen to it, and I sent it to her, and she said, "You don't know what that song did to me," because I'm a dancer, so really music ministers to me. So I would have certain songs on repeat that I would listen to. So I like doing more of somebody that's going through it, being able to tell my testimony to them. If somebody come in there and I know that they're going through it, then being able to say, yeah, I have. If somebody asks me now, I say, yeah, I do, and they was like, yeah, we know, and anything you need, and I was like, no, I say, I'm good. What God has did, but no, I can't really say like, starting a foundation and all that. No,
Yeah, just a one-on-one. And
I
you know,
like the 101.
yeah, and you never know what will happen in the future. But it
Yeah.
takes some. I mean, you just went through something really, really big. So I mean, I can see where, right now that's where you're at with it.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, that's where you're at with it. Well, Augustine, I appreciate you coming on, again, knowing how private you are and sharing, and for your big sister, and I appreciate that. Um, is there anything else you would like to say before?
No, just thank you for having me on. Anybody that's not really even going through it, if you don't even think and you think you're all right, I'm still a firm believer of getting checked. The early prevention is key. If I wouldn't went when I did, it probably would have grew and it would have been worse. So they caught it in time. That it might seem like a cliche or whatever, but early prevention is key, of getting it done, and taking care of it, and taking care of yourself. Once if you find yourself diagnosed to it, take care of yourself. Do what you're supposed to do. Follow the plan, and trust the process. That's what I mean. That I trusted the process when they told me, and I hit them points. And when I hit them points, when they told me, they gave me my kudos that you're doing great. Then I was trusting the process, and I trusted them even more. And so you got to trust, when the process go through, and trust the doctors, and yeah, it all works out. It all works out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, I thank you for coming in and sharing that. You are our favorite little sister, so we appreciate you and love you, and appreciate you coming on.
I love you
Well,
too.
yes, ma'am. Hey guys, you heard it from my baby sister. Get checked, go in. This is the month of awareness, cancer awareness, breast cancer awareness, that you will go in and have those screenings done. Not something that any of us want to hear, but as you just heard from my sister Augustine, that it the early detection, and everyone else, early detection is the best way to go with this. So don't hesitate. Go through the process. I like that part. Trust the process.
That's the process.
Trust the process if it's there, and if you're having to go through it.
And if it's hereditary, if it's in your family, get checked.
Yeah, yeah. So again, thank you. I hate to end this call. I have my little sister here, so but it's got to end. So again, thank you for tuning in. This is the Anna Linzie Show, Clarke TV Network. I'm here every Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Do you have prediabetes? If you do, you're not alone. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, and more than 80% don't know they have it. Prediabetes is a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. But now, North Carolina residents with prediabetes can enroll in a free or low-cost national diabetes prevention program. You can make healthy changes with support from this proven program. Get started now at joinaprogram.org.
When the stadium lights are dimmed, when the cameras stop flashing, when the pads are off, the pressure sinks in and it's just me in a world of expectation. Nobody can carry that alone. But pressure doesn't have to be carried alone. What if we came together as a team? Embrace talking openly about our mental health.
If we reached out, checked in.
Seize the awkward.
Imagine what we could do.